Hey, what's up YouTube? Shane here and welcome to another episode of Lone Wolf Survival. And what I want to talk to you today about is knives and knife conditioning and maintenance. So I'm going to give you a few examples of the different purpose knives that we use in the field and some of the different aftermarket sharpeners and systems that you can buy to maintain your knives. So what I want to do is first talk about the three types of knives. So you have utility, general purpose, and then you have hunting or defense. So when I talk about utility knife, a utility knife is something I'm going to use for anything. And when I think of a utility blade or utility knife, I think of a machete. One being, for example, is one of the Gerber machetes. Now this is a utility blade, and what this is this allows me, I can cut, I can hack, I can chop, I can saw with it. It's nothing I'm going to fillet a fish with. It's nothing I'm going to try to cut paracord with because I'll cut my thumb off. So all different types, and we talked about this a little bit before, how much money you're going to put in to what you're carrying out here in the field with you, whether it's a survival situation, whether you're a prepper, whether you're camping, whether you're training. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's all different types, shapes, forms, and fashions. Here's another example of a utility blade, and it's just another type of machete. It's a little lower end machete, and you've got saw back on it, stainless steel blade, a little more flimsy than the Gerber, rubber handle. These $5-10 versus $30 for a Gerber. So it depends on what you're using it for. We look now, the Cold Steel Gakure. You've seen me carry this one before. This is usually the one that I use when we're out in the field. Good steel, keeps a good edge. I also look at sheath quality. Another version, and you've seen this one before, and this is your Walmart survival knife is what this is, and I've rewrapped the handle because the last time we talked about this it was falling apart. It's a decent blade, little bit of rigidity there. It's got a decent saw back on it, has a fire striker, it's got a decent sheath, so good for hacking small things, cutting small limbs. Then we go into another type of utility blade, which is a Condor, which is a little bit better quality. It's double-edged. Now the only problem with this, now you've seen a lot of people obviously use rocks and sticks. They split their wood. That's great if you're in that situation. I don't beat on my blades with rocks and sticks, okay, because I carry the blades to use for that purpose. I don't take my combat or hunting knife and I beat on the back of it with a rock. I'm not going to do that. I have multiple tools for that. Now if you've got one blade and that's what you primarily carry, it needs to be of a quality that you can do that kind of work with. Another type of utility, a lot of people, is the M8A1 bayonet. This is the one I actually carried with me. This has dug many holes, stuck in many trees, has opened many cans. A good blade, good thickness, good metal. And then, of course, you know, the old tried and true favorite, K-bar or any K-bar knife, good utility blade. So these are all utility blades, and these are examples of things that I can dig with if I've got to dig a hole, if I've got to hammer a tent stake in, if I've got to cut a vine, cut a limb, split wood. That's what I'm going to use these for. So now we're going to take the next step, and we're going to go into our general purpose blades. And a general purpose blade is used for a lot of different things. It's going to be a small blade, small to mid-sized blade that I can carry, that I can fillet a fish, I can skin an animal, I can cook, I can use it to cook with, I can use it to whittle things out, I can use it to split small sticks if I have to. I can use it to cut cordage. This is a blade I'm going to keep fairly sharp. This is the one that's going to be always in my pocket. Some examples of those, obviously the one that you see me carry all the time, which is a Gerber, and this is one of my general purpose blades. I'll cook with this, I'll cut food with it, I'll skin with it. I do a lot of different things with this blade. Plus this one has a built-in sharpener on it. I'm a big fan of Cold Steel. Cold Steel Spartan. That's a good general purpose blade. Cold Steel Voyager. Medium-sized blade, good general purpose blade. Then you get into other things. like the Schrade Sharp Finger, really good for cutting, for gutting, for skinning, for cutting material. Really good blade for that. We start looking at some of the Gerber lock blades. We look at other Gerber lock blades. Smith & Wesson Swiss Army knife. I know you're out there. This is for you. Someone carries this with a plastic toothpick, and this one is just for you because I have one too. So you're not alone, my friend. Coleman makes a decent utility, makes a decent general purpose blade. Camp knife. So those are all good to have in my pocket if I've got to, like I said, prepare food, if I have to skin an animal, if I have to cut cord, if I have to use to shave something down, if I'm fashioning a fishing spear, something like that. These are really good for that. Handmade skinning knives. This is actually a blade that I make, and this is a really good skinning knife. And also when I'm scraping hides, I use this same blade. M-Tech makes a really good mid-size general purpose. Smith & Wesson, they're tactical, they're M&P series. Really good general purpose blade. It's got a serrated edge on it. So that is my general purpose. So we've talked about utility. Utility is my workhorse. That's when I'm going to cut and chop and hack, and I don't care what happens to it. My general purpose is more of my finesse knife. I'm going to use it to cut many different things. Now we go into the last blade that we classify, and that is your defense, hunting, combat blade. And this is the one that you carry primarily on your side, that it only comes out of the sheath for that reason. There are many different ones. It needs to be a larger frame blade, a Bowie or a Tanto. Damascus steel Bowie knife, bone handle. This is a great hunting defense blade. We look at smaller size, the Wolfhound. This is a good hunting knife. This is a good defense knife. Tribal, a custom knife maker, made these for me. Really good blade. All different shapes, forms, and fashions. Smith & Wesson makes a really, really nice, part of their M&P Tactical series, makes a really good defense blade. Old Timer. It's hard to go wrong with a Schrade Old Timer. So when you're looking at these, that's what you need to look at. What am I going to use it for? And it really depends on the size, depends on you. You know, United Force Recon. Big blade. That's a hunting blade. That's a defense blade. Browning. This is a mid-size blade. Once again, you need to look at quality when you're looking at a hunting or defense knife. Another tribal version in a dagger style or a bayonet style. So these are all various hunting or defense blades that you can carry. So I carry one of each. I carry 3 blades. I carry a utility, a general purpose, and a hunting and defense. You don't have to carry 3, you can carry 1, but when you're selecting, make sure it fits you, fits what you're doing, has a good feel, and has a good steel to it. And then it comes to the next part I'm going to talk to you briefly about, which is maintaining the blade. So obviously your stainless steel blades, you don't have to worry about rust. My Damascus steel Bowie, every time I put it in the sheath, pull it out 3 days later, it's rusty. I have to keep it oiled down. Good blade, but the blade rust. Sharpening. There are so many different sharpening systems that you can get. You can get pocket sharpeners, and I'll talk about that. You can get large sharpeners in kit sets. You carry one in your pocket, carry one in your backpack. Some of the different ones, like this is a United Cutlery. It has 4 areas. All right, you have your coarse and your fine, and this is simply a set on the table and drag across. Pull to the coarse side, pull to the fine side. These are really good backpack sharpeners. Smith has a really nice one. It has a coarse and a fine, has a ceramic insert. Really good, and it has a guard on it so you don't cut your knuckles. Smith also makes a small compact unit. This actually has a flip out for a serrated. This one has a compass on it and a fire starter, if I can get the thing to come out. Not necessarily have to have this, but there's another Smith's. All these are just different types of sharpeners. Here's another coarse and fine, another Smith's with a flip out for serrated. Now these are fine to keep in your backpack, like the Smith's. I can use this one on any one of them. I can sharpen my machete, I can sharpen my hunting knife, I can sharpen my general purpose knife. And then you get down and you start getting into better care, and this is also a Smith's system. And what this is this is a kit that has, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll talk about it. You have your honing solution, your coarse diamond, fine diamond, your fine Arkansas stone, and your medium Arkansas stone. And it also has a pocket diamond sharpener. This is a really neat set. Goes in a zipper case. Has the guide rod set up for the sharpening stand, which is right here. Set up, and you lock your stone onto the guide, and that way you get a constant edge every time. So these are all different systems that you can use. You need to pick what works for you, what you're comfortable with. If you're an old spit and stone kind of guy, that's great. If you're an oil stone, if you like the metal sharpeners, that's great too. You need to find what works for you. And once you find that, have a system at home, you have a system that you keep in your backpack. I always keep, in my bug out bags, I always keep a sharpening system with me, because I'm going to use my blades for various things. So that's just a little bit on knives and knife care. Look at quality, size, what you're going to be using it for, and then look at your care system, how you're going to maintain that blade. Until next time, this is Shane with Lone Wolf Survival. See you later.